Tech giant Oracle will spearhead U.S. oversight of the algorithm and security underlying TikTok's video popular platform under the terms of a deal laid out Monday by President Donald Trump's administration. All the final details still need to be nailed down among several joint venture partners that will include Oracle, investment firm Silver Lake Partners, and possibly two billionaires, media mogul Rupert Murdoch and personal computer pioneer Michael Dell. The U.S. administration would not have a stake in the joint venture nor be part of its board, according to a senior White House official. President Trump is expected to issue an executive order later this week that declares that the terms of the deal meet the security concerns laid out by the law, the senior White House official said. China still needs to sign off on the framework proposal, and any final deal would still require regulatory approval. The proposal is aimed at resolving a long-running effort to wrest TikTok's U.S. operations from its Beijing-based parent company, ByteDance, because of national security concerns. TikTok has become a high-profile topic during conversations between Trump and China President Xi Jinping as they continue to spar in a trade war that's roiled the global economy for much of the year. For now, the two sides are progressing on a framework deal that calls for a consortium of investors, including Oracle and Silver Lake, to take over the U.S. operations of TikTok in a process that might not be completed until early next year under a timeline laid out Monday by the Trump administration. That could mean TikTok's divestment might not be completed until a year after it was supposed to be banned under a law that had bipartisan support but was repeatedly bypassed by Trump. Under the current terms of the proposal, the new U.S. joint venture would receive a licensed copy of the recommendation algorithm that keeps TikTok users endlessly scrolling through clips on their smartphones. Oracle would review, monitor, and secure U.S. data flowing through the service. American officials have previously warned that ByteDance's algorithm is vulnerable to manipulation by Chinese authorities, who can use it to shape content on the platform in a way that's difficult to detect.
So I don't have a specific number for you, nor am I going to confirm the specific individuals and entities in the deal, Akela, but I do have several details I'm happy to run through for all of you, and the president will be signing the deal, the official deal, later this week at some point. Under the terms of this deal, TikTok will be owned by a majority of American investors and controlled by a board of directors with extensive national security and cybersecurity credentials. In partnership with the U.S. government, Oracle will serve as TikTok's trusted security provider, and they will independently monitor the safety and data security of all U.S. user data on TikTok's platform. Americans' data will be stored securely in the United States without access from China. All U.S. user data will be stored on servers operated by Oracle in the United States, protected from surveillance or interference by foreign adversaries. And the algorithm, I know this is a question many of you have had, will be secured, retrained, and operated in the United States outside of ByteDance's control. And TikTok will remain globally interoperable, meaning TikTok users in the U.S. will be able to see videos posted by users in other countries and vice versa. While I don't have a number on the specific deal, we do expect that thanks to the president's leadership and the securement of this historic deal, businesses using TikTok will generate as much as $178 billion in economic activity within the U.S. over the next 4 years. So this is great news, not just for the millions of American youth who use TikTok. Their data will be safe and secure with this new deal. They'll continue to use this very fun app, but it's also great news for all of the small business owners who have really been able to make a living off of the use of TikTok as well.
I may or may not. They're negotiating TikTok right now. We may let it die, or we may, I don't know, it depends, up to China. It doesn't matter too much. I'd like to do it for the kids. They like it. I mean, selfishly speaking, I did very well on TikTok, and I got the youth vote. I got numbers that nobody's ever even come close to in the Republican Party. Nobody. If you look back to Romney and all these people, they got practically no votes. I got a lot. And some was attributed to TikTok, and a lot was attributed to Charlie. We're going to see, but we've hit them very hard in so many other ways. I don't know if you know. Do you know what they're paying right now? What are they paying right now? You know what China's paying right now in tariffs? Huh? a lot.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Sunday said he may let TikTok die as the deadline for a U.S. deal with the social media platform approaches once again. Speaking to reporters in New Jersey, Trump was uncertain whether he would offer another extension. "I may or may not. We're negotiating TikTok right now. We may let it die. I don't know. It depends on China. It doesn't matter too much. I would love to do it for the kids. They like it," Trump said. Deadline looms again. If Trump extends the deadline beyond September 17th, it would be the fourth time he has delayed enforcing a law that originally gave ByteDance until January 2025 to sell TikTok's U.S. operations or face a ban. Trump has already pushed the deadline 3 times, first in April, then May, and again in June, saying there were potential U.S. buyers ready. But the deal has stalled. Deal stuck amid China-U.S. tensions. Progress on a deal has been slow due to complex negotiations and China's hesitation. Any agreement that involves sharing TikTok's highly valuable algorithm with a U.S. company must first be approved by Beijing. Earlier this year, a plan was on the table to spin off TikTok's U.S. operations into a new American-owned company. But after Trump announced higher tariffs on Chinese goods, China backed away from the deal. Progress on a deal has been slow, with any sharing of TikTok's prized algorithm with a U.S. buyer requiring approval from Beijing. A deal had been in the works in the spring. It would have spun off TikTok's U.S. operations into a new U.S.-based firm, majority-owned and operated by U.S. investors. However, it was put on hold after China indicated it would not approve it following Trump's announcements of steep tariffs on Chinese goods. Trump began his second term as president on January 20th and opted not to enforce the law requiring TikTok's U.S. asset sale or shutdown. He first extended the deadline to early April, then from May to June, and a third time to September.
U.S. and Chinese officials began talks in Madrid on Sunday, September 14th, on their strained trade ties, a looming divestiture deadline for Chinese short video app TikTok, and Washington's demands that its allies place tariffs on China over its purchases of Russian oil. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer arrived shortly before Chinese Vice Premier He Lifeng and China's top trade negotiator Li Chenggang at the Baroque Palacio de Santa Cruz, which houses Spain's foreign ministry in the Spanish capital. The talks mark the fourth time in 4 months that the delegations have met in European cities to try to keep a fractured U.S.-China trade relationship from collapsing under President Donald Trump's tariffs. Trade experts said there was little likelihood of a substantial breakthrough in the talks hosted by Spain, which has sought to improve ties with Beijing in recent years.